There we go. Alright, everyone. Hello and welcome. Sorry about that false start. I clicked record and it didn't start recording. Now it's finally recording. Alright. Welcome to today's gameplay stream. Today is Sunday, September 4th, 2016. And I would like to say hello and welcome to my gameplay stream for the day. I am Darkside Phil. And I have an update in regards to what's going to happen today and the fate of the rest of the week, because it actually looks like things are going to be mixed up a little bit here for the week that I wasn't necessarily planning. So we'll see. I'm going to explain it all in a moment. So, ladies and gents, how are you doing? Hopefully you're doing well. I'm doing pretty good. Wrapping up a lot of stuff, trying to get further in a lot of stuff that I've been playing recently. And I know that, quite honestly, the things I've been doing recently haven't necessarily been big eye grabbers, big things that people are coming out to watch. I thought Deus Ex might have been, but most people who came to watch my Deus Ex playthrough only showed up for about a day, and then said, wow, this game is boring to watch, and then left. To which I responded, in my first impressions video about Deus Ex last week, well, that's too bad, because the game is meant to be played at length while exploring, doing side missions, getting all your upgrades to better yourself so that the game can be a more complex and fun experience. So if that's not fun to watch, I apologize. There's not much I can do about that. It is what it is. It was the same thing with Human Revolution a few years back. I played it the same way. Unfortunately, then, everyone's attitude was different. You know, we're talking 2011 YouTube versus 2016 YouTube. In 5 years, it seems like people who used to be around to watch games and enjoy them aren't really there anymore. Which is kind of disappointing. Because, that's what I pride myself on. Doing raw, legitimate playthroughs of games. Playing them at my own pace. Enjoying them in the way that I know as best fit to enjoy them. And I did that with Human Revolution. And people seem to like the playthrough. And now here we are with Mankind Divided. And I'm getting basically a completely different attitude from people. So if anything, it just shows that time changes things and attitudes about stuff, right? And then this week I've been playing Attack on Titan. And Attack on Titan is a game that, quite honestly, if you're not really into the anime or the manga, probably isn't too gripping for you as well. The main gameplay elements of the game are incredibly repetitive. Once you get past the first few missions, you've pretty much seen almost everything you're going to see in the game, with a few exceptions. There have been a few twists and turns, new enemy types and stuff that have come up near the end here. But for the most part, you know what I mean? It's grinding, right? And so, the bottom line is that I understand that things have been slow. Okay, I get that. And it's okay. It's a little disappointing, but it's okay. August did pick up from July. It's been a better month. August was a much better month than July, but it was still, in terms of how I like things to be going with the business, it was pretty slow. Alright? I'm hoping that now with September, now that we've got things coming up, such as the new game Recore, the remastered editions of games like Dead Rising and BioShock, my playthrough of an upcoming retro game, whether it's Jak 3 or Banjo-Kazooie or Crash 3, depending on what the patrons vote on, starting tonight. And, some other stuff coming up later in the month, which is still to be determined. Apparently, Urian and Street Fighter V is supposed to be released this month. Capcom kind of talked about it a couple weeks ago and said that he will be released in September. Plus, we've got, the potential of some other stuff that's going to be coming out as well. I know Batman, the Telltale Game Episode 2 will be released this month. I believe that's the 3rd week of September. And then, near the end of this month, there's going to be maybe some other stuff too. We'll see. It all depends. It all depends on how stuff goes this month, over the course of the month, all right? We'll see. But I'm hoping that with September, I can start to reinvigorate viewership. Because the bottom line is, in October, we've got tons of high-profile new releases. Mafia 3, Gears of War 4, WWE. I'm going to be covering the PlayStation VR, which is going to be quite interesting. Battlefield 1, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, Last Guardian, and that's just some of the games in October. That's not even all the stuff. Those are all really huge, right? And I'm really excited, but I need to build stuff back up. After the dead summer, this is what happens every year to me. This happened last year as well, by the way. After a dead summer, when there's really nothing going on with gaming and it's hard to pull people in to watch new stuff, because there isn't a lot of new releases, I need to get that viewership back, and I'm hoping people will start to come back over the course of September, alright? So I want to say to those of you who are here today, alright, for those of you who are here to watch Attack on Titan, thank you, because you're kind of the niche audience. You're not the mainstream people who come out for the big AAA releases, even though you might. You're also here for a game that's not, it's a lesser known game. It's a game that not that many people really cared too much about. And, you know, it is what it is. It absolutely is what it is. I have to keep plugging away. It's the only way that I can, you know, come back from slowness. July was incredibly slow. August was just slow. I need to pick it up in September. I'm hoping that I can come back from it, alright? So, I'm hoping that with all the stuff coming up in September, something's going to interest you, you know? Tons of reviews I'm going to be pumping out shortly over on KO Gaming. You know, I'm going to be working on, if I complete Attack on Titan today, which I'm about to talk about, I'm probably going to review that first, quite honestly. King of Fighters, I may do like one more major session of it, and then do a formal review of that this week. Deus Ex I'm going to be focusing on continuing and trying to finish. So, there's a lot of stuff coming up just this week, and then, you know, the new stuff next week. Hopefully we'll get some people interested who haven't been around for a while. We'll see. But yeah, it is what it is. You gotta ride with it. You know, when covering gaming is my thing, that's what I rely on. What games are out. And if the games that are out aren't invigorating my audience because they're not, the raw gameplay of the game isn't very interesting, right? Or in particular, if it's a game that doesn't lend itself to amazing commentary, you know, like some games do, narrative-based games in particular, I think are a little bit better at that. I just gotta keep going and pushing forward, right? Alright, so, let's talk about today. Today, I'm playing Attack on Titan, and I thought that the game actually had a lot more to it than apparently it does. From what I'm to understand, being that, you know, I play these games cold turkey. I don't spoil myself on the games. From what I'm to understand, Attack on Titan only has one mission left, and then I complete what's considered the campaign of the game, alright? Which I didn't know. I thought there was a lot more. I was going to be doing, like, multiple streams of it. I guess not. Alright, I guess not. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to play the final mission, the final story mission of Attack on Titan. We'll watch the credits, whatever. Then apparently what happens, okay, is that new missions unlock, but the way you unlock them, you're not going to believe this. You have to complete 6 of the repetitive grinding side missions to unlock additional epilogue missions. Now, from what I'm to understand, these missions actually are further in the manga and the storyline than the anime has gone, so they're kind of like spoilers, but they don't necessarily have giant cutscenes or anything like that. It's more just like, here's a mission with characters and some plot from the future of the manga, okay? But having to do 6 fucking side missions to unlock each stage is insane. I mean, let's face it, I doubt I'm going to be able to beat any of these side missions in shorter than like 5 to 10 minutes. So you're talking at least an hour of wasted time in order to unlock a fucking optional mission in the game. That's ridiculous padding. That is an incredibly archaic formula for a game like this, you know? And it's like, most of the campaign, let's be honest here, most of the campaign of Attack on Titan has been repetitive, you know? And let's be honest here too, the anime is repetitive. So it's not to say that Attack on Titan, the game, isn't accurate to the anime. It actually is. But is that equating to a fun game is the question. You know, I'll put up with the repetitiveness of the gameplay if with every mission I can unlock new story and upgrade my characters and get new stuff unlocked and stuff like that. But 6 missions, 6 repetitive side missions of just repetitively slaughtering Titans to unlock one potential spoiler kind of manga epilogue mission is absolutely ridiculous. That is terrible game design. That is being disrespectful to the gamer and basically saying, we're padding the shit out of our game and we don't have any respect for your actual time for you to actually see the content that we put into the game. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Seriously. So, I disagree with that. I think it's terrible. I do. And what I'm going to do today on stream is I'm going to do the final mission of the game, and then I'm going to do the grinding. I'm going to do some grinding. We'll unlock at least one, if not two of these missions and play through them, so at least there's a taste of what it is. But by no means am I going to be doing another major stream of this game where the majority of the stream is going to be me just doing boring shit for the sake of finally unlocking a spoiler mission that potentially could spoil the future plot lines of the anime that I know I'm going to be watching anyway. It's terrible. So, you know, that's just the bottom line. I have other stuff to do. You know, I want to play King of Fighters one more time, because I think if I play King of Fighters one more time, I'll be able to check out the time attack and survival modes, as well as maybe play a little bit more online play, and see if I can get a little bit more in of the party mode gameplay, which was pretty fun when I did it on Friday, before I issue my review of the game. I've got a lot more to do in Deus Ex. I'm only on major story mission 11 in Deus Ex, and there's 17 of them. Plus, I'm doing side content in that game, so I've still got all that stuff to do. Plus, I kind of eventually want to play Nuka World in Fallout 4. Plus, I still got Scarface, and that's all before next week. So, I don't have time to waste time on padding bullshit. You know what I mean? I just don't. I absolutely don't have time to waste on garbage. And the bottom line is, padding in games in 2016 is garbage. It's that simple. It's disrespectful to the gamer to not put quality. It's quantity versus quality. Extra quantity is nice if there's quality based with it. When you're just doing quantity for the sake of quantity to say your game's longer, that's not quality. And that's what these game designers are missing in the modern era, I believe. Okay. So anyway, that's the deal with today. Today will be the conclusion of Attack on Titan by hook or by crook. We'll see how far we get. I will put in a little bit of grinding today to maybe unlock a couple missions, but this will be the conclusion of Attack on Titan. If I'm getting really bored by the end of the stream, I may do, like, one of the multiplayer missions, even though they're completely a waste of time. I looked into it and found out there's really no reason to even play them. It's just more repetitive Titan slaying, only now you actually are with a party of people who are human-controlled. So it's a lot easier because you can intelligently kill these Titans, but at the same time, there's no reason to do it. It's just a mode thrown in there to say there's multiplayer with no progression or any campaign or anything, any reason to do it. So, pretty lame. Pretty freaking lame. So, that's the deal with today. Tonight, I'll be doing the weekend preview, okay? The weekend preview will explain fully how this week's gonna go now that I know that Attack on Titan is done, okay? Here's what I think's gonna happen. I'll give you a rough idea of what I think you can expect this week. Tomorrow, Monday, I'm probably going to be doing more King of Fighters. Now that Attack on Titan's going to be over with, I'll probably do my final King of Fighters stream, where I'll do the time attack and survival modes just to mess with them a little bit, and I'll probably do more online play of that party gameplay that I was doing. It was actually pretty fun, and that'll probably be the conclusion of my King of Fighters gameplay. Tomorrow night, Monday night, I'm probably going to review Attack on Titan for KO Gaming. Okay? Tuesday is going to be the final Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Zombies co-op. The timing's going to be a little different. It's going to start about an hour later than usual. So it's going to start around 1 p.m. Pacific time, but I'm going to go a little bit longer too. And it's going to be me taking on this zombie, the final Zombies map. Okay? Tuesday night, I'll probably be doing more Deus Ex. Wednesday, I'll probably be playing Deus Ex, quite honestly. Because I want to try to get as far as I can, because I want to complete it so I can play Nuka World in Fallout 4. Alright? Wednesday night, I'll probably be reviewing King of Fighters 14. And then the rest of the week, I'm going to leave up in the air simply because I don't know how far I'll be in Deus Ex by that point. Okay? So, what I'm hoping is I'll be completing Deus Ex by late this week, which then means this weekend, maybe, I can play Nuka World in Fallout 4. And hopefully complete it by next week, because next week we've got all the new releases. So the one thing that's kind of in limbo here is Scarface. Scarface will be in limbo. I told everyone that was the deal with Scarface. It was going to be a game that's in limbo, dependent on how much free time I have this month. And we'll see what happens with it. If, you know, God forbid, you know, I get so busy with all the new stuff I never get to it, well, You know, maybe I'll eventually complete it someday, but it's certainly, Scarface is not my focus. I want to go through all this new stuff and review the new stuff before I start worrying about a game like Scarface, okay? So there you go. That's a lot of stuff. We're going to have the conclusion of Attack on Titan plus the review, the conclusion of King of Fighters 14 plus the review, the final Zombies co-op in Black Ops 3, the hopeful conclusion and review of Deus Ex, and then Nuka World. All this week. All this week. Holy crap. Pretty crazy. Alright, that's really it, everyone. I'm not going to go too much into detail about anything. I don't want to do a ton of gratuitous plugs today. I just don't feel like it. I want to get into Attack on Titan here, okay? But what I will say is... Hold on, what is this? Where is it? There it is, sorry. The Patreon goal for this month is a Halloween special that will be taking place on Halloween. If I hit the funding goal on Patreon for this month, it's going to be all horror games. It's going to be 3 to 4 horror games in a marathon setting on Halloween. I will be in costume on Facecam the entire time. It'll be the patrons who actually nominate and vote on which games I'll be playing during this marathon. Alright? So there you have it. That's how it's going to go down. If you pledge $5 or more by the end of this month, you'll be able to nominate and vote on those games. Any pledge goes towards it, but if you do $5 or more, you'll actually be part of the process of actually getting this set up, okay? I think this will be a lot better than last year's Halloween special, only because last year I only played one game for the entire stream, and people got really bored by the end of the stream because it was only one game. This year I could switch between games, which could be quite interesting, right? So, hopefully, we'll hit the goal. Hopefully, it'll be a fun marathon, and we'll go from there. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go too much into detail about it. As we get, near the end of the month, I'll talk a little bit more about it, okay? One final thing, everyone, and then I'll get started. I just want to warn everyone. I didn't really get word, but let me put it this way. I've been looking into it, and it looks like, sadly, Patreon may be having some issues in regards to this, the process by which I now am accepting pledges. What I'm doing now is they have this new feature that they implemented several months ago, and they assured me it worked, okay? So I turned it on where when you pledge to my Patreon, if you're a new pledgee, as soon as you pledge, you get charged for your pledge for that month, okay? And then you go on auto-renew, or on the first of every following month, you'll get auto-charged for a continuing subscription, basically, to my Patreon. And the reason I did it that way is because previously there was no obligation, and people would false pledge like crazy, overinflating my Patreon totals, and then all of a sudden at the end of the month we'd find out, oh, by the way, that's $700 of false pledges, so we're way under the goal, and then I'd have to rush desperately to get people to pledge to hit the goals for the month. So basically making people pay up front completely eliminates that problem, okay? But what I found out is that apparently this system screws up their reporting. So allow me to explain. Let's say, for example, right now you pledged $5 to my Patreon because you wanted to take part, in this Halloween event. All right, great. I would get that pledge and it would count immediately. It would charge you, it would process, and I would get that $5 on my Patreon, so it would work fine. But let's say immediately after you do that, you say, okay, well, next month, I just want to do a $1 pledge going on for this ongoing subscription. So you immediately lower your pledge amount to $1, okay? Unfortunately, what's happening, I think, I have to confirm this because I'm going to look at the data tonight, is the reporting is saying, okay, well, you pledged the $5, but since you lowered your pledge to $1, the reporting then says you only pledged $1. So when at the month end, right, let's say next month when I go to divvy out everyone's perks, it may only say you pledged $1. Which is bullshit. And there's no way for me to even see that you pledged more. It's complete and utter bullshit. That is not correct. That is a broken process. I should be able to see the day that people pledge and how much they pledge, not what their current pledge is only. And that is going to be a major problem with Patreon reporting if they don't fix it. So what I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to test this theory. I'm going to look at all the data, and I'm going to message patrons on patreon.com for the month of August for all of the pledges. If you were a patron of mine in August and you don't get a private message and you're looking to like get a forum upgrade, or you want to be able to post up your questions for Ask the King later in September, or if you were going to get your private Q&A video made, and if you don't get a PM from me on Patreon about this tonight, you need to message me, because I have no idea if that's the case, if or what you pledged. And it's bullshit. That's not fair to you. That's not fair to me. That's a broken thing. They screwed up their site, basically. And they rolled out a process that doesn't work, which is not good at all, okay? So please, keep your eyes open if you were an August patron. Tonight, I'll be sending out all these private messages for people who I need your information to get you your perks, and we'll go from there, okay? All right. That is it, everyone. Let us begin with Attack on Titan, the conclusion. Thank you for being patient. And let's do this.